good. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of going through this. The only answer that can fix this is Jesus. I've tried everything. I've tried the drugs. I've tried the weed. I've tried the partying. I've tried the men. I've tried it all. I've been outside in the club trying to get attention. I've done all that. I tried to find it in you. It's not working. This is the only way. So I was like, we're gonna abide by this. Or hey y'all, it's your girl Shakia, or Kia, or SVK Beauty, or Slave by Kia, whatever you want to call it. And I just want to welcome you guys to my YouTube channel. So this video today is going to be about my testimony. So let me just give you a little background before I dive deep into the nitty-gritty. So basically in January of 2023, I fully decided to give my life to Christ. I decided I wasn't going to be lukewarm no more. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be serious. And within that, these 2 years, it's about 2 years of me redefining myself in the Lord, just showing me who I am. He has literally told me to tell my testimony, and within that, he has shown me many gifts that the Lord has blessed me with, well, that he has blessed me with, that being able to see in the spirit, operating in the prophetic, being an intercessor, so many things. And I have a teaching gift of teaching the word of God, which is now why he has me in theology school getting my theology degree, and also why he has told me to start my own Bible study ministry, teaching the word of God, teaching the word of faith, and surrounding that ministry with praying and fasting. And now he's pushing me into the content creation space of being able to teach the word online and teach the word of God. But with me doing that, he has told me to tell my testimony, which is something I have been very hesitant about doing because I'm such a private person and I don't like telling my business to nobody. But testimonies set people free. I've heard other people's testimonies, which allowed me to get closer to God. So I know that my testimony will set so many people free and just show that allowing God to use you, and that your past doesn't define you, and you can't well, and that God has given us the authority to trample over scorpions as well. So we're about to dive deep. I don't look like what I've been through. I know this testimony is going to shock a lot of people, but I'm here to show you that take back the authority, that take back your power and use the authority that God has given you. So let's get started. Also, before I continue on with this video and testimony, I want to give a little viewer discretion that rape is talking about, suicide, ideation is also talked about as well. So if that makes you uncomfortable, please watch with caution, please, because it is talked about, because it's part of my testimony. So yes, let's get started. So first things first, I encountered Christ, like Jesus, like an actual interaction with Jesus when I was in the 5th grade when I tried to commit suicide. So let's start there. I always knew who Jesus was. I was baptized, I want to say when I was 12. I just knew who Jesus was. I always had that foundation. I grew up in the church back home in Louisiana, where I'm originally from, Shreveport, Louisiana. I was even on the praise dance team. Like, the Lord has always been with me. He's always been instilled in me. Everything like that, I just straight away fell into peer pressure, and then the things that happened to me was young also added on to that. So let's get started of when I was in Shreveport, Louisiana. So I'm originally from Shreveport, Louisiana. It's a mid-sized city. It's the hood basically, and my parents decided to move us out of there because that was not an environment that my parents didn't want my brother and I to live in, which I'm completely and 100% grateful for. When I was younger, I didn't understand it because I'm like, I wanted to be around my family. That's all I knew. But sometimes when you need to grow, sometimes you have to get away from family. And now that I'm older, I understand that. So at the age of 5, we decided to move to Texas. So when we moved to Texas, we literally didn't have any family members except for one family member. He was like an older uncle, love him greatly. So moved from there when we were 5, and we didn't really have family. So usually back home, we're like tight knit and very, very close people. So usually, like, if your kids had to be watched, grandma or auntie will watch your kids. But we didn't have that, and we didn't really know anybody out there, so we didn't trust anybody enough to do that. So we just allowed, my mom allowed my older uncle. Older uncle always had, you know, family members over and stuff like that, which was not the best thing looking back at it. So during that time, I always had, you know, kids to play with and everything like that. But at that young age of 5 was when I first got introduced to sex, because I was sexually assaulted by a family member at that young age. And eventually that sexual assault led to me being raped at the age of, I was like in the fourth or fifth grade when that happened. So whatever age you're in, yeah. So I ended up being raped at a very young age. So that opened the door to lust, basically me being promiscuous and stuff like that. And it also opened the door to just PTSD, depression, suicidal thoughts, all types of things that no young person should go through. So within me going through that, I struggled a lot mentally. I really struggled a lot mentally. And then also with me being a dark-skinned girl, I was always picked on because of that. So that really made me insecure as well. So that didn't make anything better. And also during that time, I was sexually assaulted and eventually raped. I told nobody. I was afraid. I was scared. So I held a lot of things in, and that led to me dealing with anger. And also the Lord has revealed to me that a spirit of rage and anger was on the bloodline. So that led to me just holding things in and lashing out outwardly. And that made me a fighter too. So in order for me to protect myself, I was like, I'm gonna fight you. So that led to certain things like that. So I would get into fight. I was always fighting boys. I always had to defend myself from men. So I could get really scrappy. And then from there, I had to like fight family members as well, because they would pick on me too. So it was just a lot of things that I was fighting internally, not telling anybody. And everybody thought I was okay because I just made sure I was always on top of my stuff. I've always had good grades. I was always in sports. I was on AB and honor roll, always in club and everything like that. So nobody really knew what was going on. So basically with me being sexually assaulted and raped, that led to me just having really dark thoughts. Really, really, really dark thoughts. Like thoughts that no child should be having. I remember I had got like a bad grade, and I'm very hard on myself, and that's something that the Lord has definitely been working with me on. I was like in the 5th grade when this happened, and I remember writing something down like, "You're stupid, you're not enough," on the paper. And I remember my mom, she like checked my grades, like my planner every day and everything like that. And she opened it, she saw, she's like, "Why did you write this?" I was like, "Because I am stupid and I'm not good enough." She was like, "Just because you got one bad grade doesn't mean," oh Lord, I'm tearing up, does not mean you're not good enough. So, okay guys, I'm back. Sorry. The tears started flowing because I'm like actually talking about this, and this is something that I really don't talk about and I'm posting online. So I'm being super vulnerable. So bear with me. So I remember that, writing things like that and just having these negative thoughts. And my mom was like, "Where did you learn this from?" I'm like, "It's just in my mind." So that's how you know when you're spiritually oppressed, because I was never taught this type of thing. I was demonically impressed, and what opened that up was me being touched and stuff like that, and being raped and everything. And that opened up doors to being promiscuous. So me being in the 5th grade, I would really get easily triggered by like the smallest things, not being good enough. And then also within that time, like I said, now I'm very confident in being a chocolate woman. I love my skin, but at that time, I was not confident in being a dark-skinned girl. I would get picked on for it. People would say, "Oh, you're cute, but you're just too dark." Like, I would hate being who I am, who God made me be. So I would have thoughts like that, and I got, at one point, I didn't know how to handle it, because like I said, I internalized everything. I never expressed myself outwardly. So I was like, well, shoot, if nobody's gonna understand me, nobody's gonna get it. I decided to get these heart pills. It starts with a P, I forget the name. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take these pills and just go away. Because I just felt like I was a burden to everybody. So this is me. This is my first suicide attempt in the 5th grade. So that happened when I was in the 5th grade. I think it was like a tab of them. So I think I took like, I think about 8 different pills, and I popped it and everything like that. And I passed out on the ground. I passed out. And during that time of me being passed out, nobody was home when this happened. So I passed out on the ground, and that was my first like face-to-face interaction with the Lord. He literally came down to me and said, I have a plan for you. Like, don't do this. So that was my first interaction with the Lord. And I just woke back up. And then from there, I was like, okay, I'm going to do better. I'm not going to do this again. Like, that was Jesus. Like, that was Jesus, like, talking to me. So 5th grade, never told anybody about that situation. I just kept quiet. I just kept things quiet. And I think that stemmed from me being raped when I was told to be quiet, or when I was touched, like, don't tell nobody or something's bad going to happen to you. So I just always thought if I said something or if I told the truth, something bad was going to happen to me, because that was instilled in me when I was like 5 years old. So 5th grade, we moved to a different part of Texas called Frisco. So we moved to Frisco, and Frisco is like predominantly white area during the time. Now it's a lot more diversified now. So we moved to that area. I moved to a new school, and it's actually going pretty good. My 6th grade year is actually, it's actually not bad. At that time, I'm playing basketball, I'm in sports, everything's going good, life is good. It's not really too bad. I'm still dealing with like insecurities with me being dark skinned and stuff like that. I open up to my mom about it, like the struggles that I'm having, and she actually bought me this. Okay, I'm back. She actually bought me this book called The Skin I'm In by Sharon G. Flake. This is a book that she told me to get, and honestly, for any mother out there that has a dark-skinned daughter that she's struggling with trying to love her skin, oh my God, please read this book. This book helped me so much in the 6th grade and everything like that, was just gaining confidence. So within that one-on-one moment I had with my mom, I told her the struggles I was going through. And then sometimes, like, you know, the boys in the 6th grade that would make certain comments like, you know, Kia's cute but she's dark, or it'd be like, Kia got a body, you know, I do stuff with her, stuff like that. So I just felt degraded. So I told my mom about that type of stuff, and then I told her, I opened up about how I attempted in the 5th grade, and we just started, you know, just talking about things like that, just being more open, telling her, like, she was just telling me, like, be open, because it's always been a safe space. Like, I've always been able to talk about anything I want, but it was just the enemy trying to silence me, because I have learned that there is power in my voice, and people are going to be set free with the things I talk about. So he just silenced me. I was always afraid to speak up about certain things. So that happened. So 6th grade went pretty good, because I felt better about opening up about that. I just felt so much better just releasing that. So 6th grade is going good. 7th grade, more than 7th grade, I think 7th and 8th grade, it's going good. I'm not really struggling with anything mentally, but at that time I started taking a liking to boys. So with me being promiscuous at that young age, I would like, so at that time Instagram and Snapchat was a thing. Yeah, Instagram and Snapchat like started coming out, and it became a thing. So I would have like make certain poses with my body and stuff like that, just being very provocative. Like, why are you doing that in the 7th or 8th grade? And then where I'm from in Louisiana, like, child, I don't know why they would teach us this, but we used to twerk. Like, that's what we did. Like, we would have dancing competitions. They would get you in the middle, like, start dancing. Like, that's what we did. So I thought that was normal. So I would, like, post stuff like that and put it in, like, my close friends and stuff like that. And I noticed it would get boys' attention. So I'm like, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna get a boy attention. And at that time, I'm insecure and I wanted a boy's attention. So that's what I was doing. So I would post, like, little things like that. I remember one time I got in trouble for doing that. I got in trouble. So that just opened the door to, like, bad stuff. So all that's going on. I'm getting in trouble for posting certain things, stuff like that. I'm just like, Kia, get it together. Like, I was just not getting it together. I just always wanted to talk to a boy. I was getting in trouble for talking to boys on the phone, stuff like that. And mind you, nobody knows this is going on because I stay on top of my stuff. Grades are good, doing good in sports. I think that during that time in 8th grade, I got invited to, like, this doctor's thing because at that time I wanted to be, like, in the medical field, and I had good grades and I got invited to this doctor's thing. So that, me doing good in school and sports would, like, brush past the little small things that I would get in trouble with, like with boys or trying to be fast, basically. So here's the thing with that. I would never go too far. So I think it was because I was, like, since that whole rape situation, I was never go too far to, like, actually having sexual intercourse with a man. I would flirt with them, but I would not go to that. I wouldn't go that far. I was never the sleep around type of girl. Like, I just couldn't do it, which is crazy coming from my background, because most girls that are raped, they become, like, hypersexual and sleep with everybody. I'm just really shocked that that never happened, but I think that was a way of, like, the Lord having his hand on me. So that happened. So here comes my freshman year. What's going on my freshman year? Oh yeah, so my freshman year, things are going good. I start club volleyball. Everything's good, grades are good, everything like that. Until I started talking to men. It was always a man that was just getting me off track on what I was supposed to be doing. So I would just talk to boys. Like, I would get in trouble for literally talking to boys. Like, I was always getting in trouble for that. That's literally, so I started cutting at that time because I would get angry. So I would suppress things. And I just, like I said, I was afraid to speak out because I didn't know if somebody would listen to me. I don't know if they would react, or I don't know if I would get in trouble for reacting. So during that time of, like, 8th and 9th grade, like I said, I'm still struggling mentally with who I am as a person, who I am, what's the skin I'm in, who Kia is. I'm struggling with that. So I would get angry. That one conversation that I had with my mom about opening up, I just wouldn't open up. Like I said, it was like a strong spirit of silence. That's what it was that was just on me. So I would get angry. I would get really angry, and I would just start harming myself. Like, cause I remember talking to my therapist. She was like, why do you do it? She's like, cause I literally said, cause I enjoy the pain. And there is a verse, and this is how you know you're being spiritually oppressed. I'm about to give y'all this verse that set me free when I realized that was spiritual oppression. Okay, so this is in Mark chapter 5. It's about when Jesus restores a demon-possessed man, and this verse, like, literally set me free when I learned about it early in my I think year 1 or 2. I found this verse. Mark 5. Verse 5 says, night and day among the tombs and in the hills, he would cry out and cut himself with stones. And literally after this, Jesus literally said, for Jesus has said to him, come out of this man, you impure spirit. I want you guys to read this verse on your own. If you're struggling with depression, just know it is a spirit and you have the authority to speak to that spirit. So basically, I was, like, oppressed demonically by this spirit of depression and self-harm, because it is not normal to want to cut yourself and harm yourself. Like, that's not normal. it's a demon, okay? You're demonically oppressed. So I was just oppressed, and I would cut myself, and then eventually, so I would drown the thought so I wouldn't cut myself, because like I said, I was in volleyball, so I had to figure out ways to hide it. So I was like, okay, well, I can't keep cutting myself, so I started smoking weed. So I started smoking weed. The first time I was introduced to weed was like in the 8th grade. How? Back home in Louisiana. That's when my parents moved me out. That's how I got introduced to weed. And then there's like a spirit of addiction and alcohol addiction in my family, so that wasn't good either. But by the grace of God, I'm free from all of that. So yeah, still battling with thoughts and harming myself. I was good at hiding things, so people didn't know that this was going on with me. And so yeah, that was going on. Started smoking, but I started smoking in the 10th grade. I was too afraid to smoke in the 9th grade because at the school I was at, no, I started smoking in the 8th grade, but then I stopped in the 9th grade because at the school I was at, they drug tested, and I was like, I can't risk getting off varsity. No. You see how God has ways to try to keep you in check, but you still gonna find a way to get out of check, out of line? Oh Lord, that's the word right there. So I was too afraid, so I didn't do that. So I would drink a little bit. I would drink here and there, not to the point where I was like an addiction, but I shouldn't have been drinking as a freshman anyway. So I would drink here and there on the weekends. So that started, so that would help me stop cutting. So I just found another addiction to go to, so that would help me like stop harming myself and everything like that. Did that. So my freshman year, I hated the school I was at because one, they were racist as heck. I almost got into it. I told you I was always fighting men. I almost got into it with a white guy because he called me the N with the ER. Okay, so I almost got into it with a white guy about that. Oh, there was another situation where I almost got into it with a girl. So back home where I'm from, Louisiana, we fight. So this girl threatened to pull up to my house. So we found out where she lived and we pulled up to her house, me and my mother. Not a good moment. You know, we're saved now. We're saved. Not a good moment, but we don't play those type of games, and we were about to fight, but yeah. So yeah, that happened, and yeah, it was just too many situations that I didn't like, and I didn't like that school. I didn't like the people there. Was always finna fight because I just always had haters growing up. I always had haters. So always finna fight. Got into it with the white guy. There was a blackface situation at the school, and I was like, I don't like it here. I want to go to this other school that was literally down the street, but where I live, the zoning is just so weird. It was so weird. So I ended up transferring to that school, which was like a good thing and a bad thing. I don't know if it was good. I really don't know. I don't know if it was good, me transferring to that school. I don't know. A lot of good memories, but a lot of horrible decisions. Lots of horrible decisions that just led to my depression, self-harming, getting worse. So this is where life gets a little downhill and rocky for me. So, okay, so now we're in my 10th grade year of high school, right? Transferred to the school. At that time, I was like a lot more, I'm not gonna say a lot more. I was a bit more confident in who I was. So I knew like, okay, I'm not ugly, but people don't like my chocolate skin. I like my chocolate skin. So I was able to embrace that side of me more. Okay, boom. A little bit more confident. At that time, I kind of have a body. Like I have a lot of body. So I'm like, okay, boys, they like a little booty and a little body, da 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 da. And I have a cute face or whatever. So as soon as I get to that school, it was like, new girl, good, whatever. So I'm getting like a lot of attention or whatever, but I'm not like, at that time, I'm so focused with school. I'm not really worried about boys like that. I'm really not. Like, this is shocking. I'm not really worried about boys like that or whatever. So 10th grade, it's cool, whatever. Until I meet my first love. I meet my first love. So, yeah, I meet him. We start being friends, and then like I found out he has a girlfriend at the time. So I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna do anything. Found out he has a girlfriend, so yeah, we're just friends. Blah blah blah. So at that time, I'm like texting guys. I feel like I'm that girl getting in trouble again for texting guys, stuff like that. School is going good, no complaints. I'm not really struggling mentally as much, but during that time, my parents were kind of like going through just a different patch, so that was kind of affecting me mentally too. But I'm like, you know, in sports, in school, in club, just staying busy was my form of making sure I did not crash out. So staying busy at this time, my first love, I think he like, him and his girl at that time, I think they like break up, I don't know. Yeah, they break up. So like me and him, like we're getting closer, we're growing our friendship. Like I'm confiding him about things, opening up about my life. So like we just grow really close or whatever. And we decided to do like this whole boyfriend girlfriend thing that didn't really work or whatever, because we're young. So like he's talking to other girls, I'm talking to other men, I'm having a way. So boom, we like call that off. I don't even want to call that like actual dating. I guess we were talking, whatever that is. So we call that off. So after that, I'm like having my way, like with men. I'm texting guys, I'm going out on dates and stuff like that. I'm just living my best life. But at this time, I am not doing anything with men. I'm too afraid, and then I get too attached on top of that. So half the time I would go on a date with these men and they would ask to do stuff with me, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I would like cut it off. But it didn't make it any better, because I would be talking that talk on the phone and just fast, like just fast. So that type of stuff is going on. I'm not supposed to be doing that. Now, this is where things take a turn. I decided to have sex with this guy my 10th grade summer going into my 11th grade year. That is the worst thing I could have done to myself. I realized I tried to do like, you know, you just casually sleep with somebody. I'm not built for that life at all, because mentally, like the spiritual things that come with it, people don't realize, like God, there's a reason why God protects us from just wanting us to wait till marriage. Like there's a reason why. And those 5 years of me just doing stupid stuff, I have realized there's a reason why that he does that. And, me and this guy, we started, you know, just like having casual sex and stuff like that. And it was just stupid, because I just felt disgusting. Like I didn't feel worthy, and like my mental health like started going downhill again. Like it went downhill again. I felt disgusted. Like I was like, why did I do this? Like I just did not feel good. So stopped sleeping with that guy for an X amount of time or whatever. So I stopped sleeping with him or whatever. My 11th grade. Yeah, so it's the closer to the beginning of like my 11th grade year, I stopped sleeping with him, and I'm like, okay, fine. Like I'm never sleeping with another guy again. Like I didn't feel good. My mental health was gone. I reverted back to cutting because I was just so angry. Didn't tell my parents until like late August or whatever. And yeah, until late August, and told them about that situation. Got on birth control, told them about the cutting situation. They're like, Kia, you can't keep doing this. Like, you're going to therapy. So I started therapy, did it once. It helped, but I didn't go back. So didn't go back. And during this time, also, I'm back smoking like on and off. I'm smoking on and off. I'm smoking on and off. And mind you, it's helping when I'm high, but when I'm not high, I'm thinking about everything again. So it gets to a point where like over the summer, I'm like high 24/7. Like 24/7. Like all the time, because I'm just like, I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to think about anything. Mind you, I don't know. I was just really good at hiding things. Nobody knows unless like you're my close friend or you smoking with me that Kia be smoking or Kia be getting drunk, because I hide it well. And like I said, I'm on top of my stuff. And also, I also had a business during that time. So I just had a lot of things going on. I was trying to keep myself busy, but keeping myself busy was not working. So yeah, 11th grade year, that happened. Stopped sleeping with that guy. And then I get back, me and the guy, my first love, the 10th grade year when we met, we started back like talking again, becoming cool again, or whatever. I ended up sleeping with him, my high school sweetheart, which was dumb too, because now like we're building a romantic connection, and now I'm becoming like overly attached. And like I said, when I get attached, it's bad. And then when you're adding like sleeping and everything like that, it just gets worse. So all that is happening. So it's just a bunch of craziness, a bunch of drama, a bunch of drama. Mental health is just depleting. So that's for to college. Yeah, college. So we get past all that drama or whatever. So when I'm a senior in high school, in the beginning of my senior year of high school, I'm single. Because me and that guy, like, we just decided it's just not going to work or whatever. My first love, we're like, it's just not going to work. It's too much drama. So I'm single. I'm focused on myself. And like I said, I noticed that when I am not with a man, or the man that God does not need me to be with, I am focused. I'm getting things done. My mental health is good. But during this time, I'm still struggling with just figuring out who Kia is. Like I said, I'm not attempting this time. I'm not attempting. Or did I attempt? No, I'm not attempting. I'm not attempting this time. So I'm not attempting. I'm just getting by. I'm doing better. I'm getting back on my feet. At this time, I'm trying to get closer to God. And I am growing with getting closer to God. At this time, I was getting academic scholarships and volleyball scholarships. So there's a lot of good things going for myself until a man pops back in the picture. So during this time, I'm feeling myself. I'm like, okay, I'm 18. I got my own car. I'm feeling myself. So at 18, I was like, okay, I want to entertain an older guy. So I'm entertaining older men. Not supposed to be doing that. Not realizing they only want one thing from me. So like I said, I just would not put myself in a situation where I'm just sleeping with a random guy, because like I said, I get attached and I just don't want that happening. And then I told myself also, I'm going to wait till marriage or whatever. Like, I'm not sleeping with nobody else. So I just stopped talking to guys completely. Stopped talking to guys. So I'm back focused again and everything like that, until my first love pops back up. And like I said, at this point we have a soul tie. So that's why it's so easy for me to, like, when he pops back up at a drop of a dime, yeah, what's up, we're back in my life. So at this time, we talk about everything. We apologize to each other that we did to each other, that we put each other through, and we decide to get back together. Mind you, this was stupid because he's in college in Atlanta and I'm a senior at this time in high school. That does not make sense. Like, what? It's BBL city over there. Why? Doesn't make sense. So our first year of that relationship is actually going pretty good. It's going really well. I'm shocked that it's going good. It's just going good. So that happens. He ends up having to come back home for COVID. And that's when things like take a turn. So basically it's like March of 2020 going into the summer. And basically like things just take a turn. He started acting funny with me and stuff like that. He talk about we need to go on a break and everything. So I think like it's summertime, and you know in summertime you just want to be a hoe. So I think that's what that was. And mind you, I feel like chaos with men always happens when God was elevating me. I'm in the process of choosing what school I'm going to commit to and everything like that. So at that time, it is like the worst summer ever, because at that time I had to shut down my business that I had because of COVID. Not sure what school I'm going to go to, and I'm going through it with my boyfriend. We're on and off. I'm seeing messy. So I get triggered. At that time, I didn't have a handle on my emotions. So I would get triggered very easily. So that just shot me back into like depression. It really shot me back into depression. It was so bad. Like, he had so much power over my emotions. Anything that he said, I'm crying. I remember crying on my freaking college visit. Like, it was so bad. It was so bad. But that was my fault, because I allowed somebody to have that much power over me, and then I opened that door as well. Well, it was open because of me being raped. So yeah, so that door was open, and I just had, like, I just couldn't control it. So now I'm back to square one, where I'm thinking about these negative thoughts. Like, oh, you're not worthy, he don't love you no more, da, 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 da. Like, these thoughts are coming back. These thoughts are coming back. So this time I'm not attempting. So at this point, I have like a little bit of background of like, okay, maybe listen to some gospel music. So I would try to listen to gospel music. That won't work. So I was like, you know what? I'm finna smoke. But I'm like, no, I can't smoke because I'm about to go to college. So I'm like, dang, I can't smoke. So now I'm like punching stuff. I remember I got so mad, I punched a hole in the wall. So I attempted to punch a hole in the wall. So I punched my wall. I destroyed my room, like, because I'm just so angry and I can't do anything to anybody. I'm angry. So I'm just struggling with that, and then I'm struggling with these thoughts, and I'm like, okay. Like, I'm struggling really bad with these thoughts. Like, y'all, it was so bad. It was so freaking bad. Like, I had to tell my mom. She was like, okay, we're gonna check. Do you want to be checked into a mental hospital? And I had to think about it. And I was like, no, I don't want to be checked into a mental hospital. So, like, I don't know how, but I had to, like, call on God, and, like, I snapped out of it. Okay, so snapped out of that. I got myself together. I was like, okay, we're not meant to be together. We're not meant to be together. Da, 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 da. So it's about like a few weeks before I go to college. Me and him, we have a talk, and I'm like, what are we doing? And we decide to get back together. Stupid, right? Why would you do that? But me, I'm just so in love. I'm so in love, right? So that happens. But this relationship is what really pushed me to get closer to God. So look, it was ugly, but a win is a win. It got me closer to God, right? So that literally happened. It's actually going good. I'm in Missouri. He's back home because of COVID or whatever. Things are going good until he gets shot while I'm on FaceTime. I literally seen everything on FaceTime a few days before my birthday while I'm in college. That happened. I had a friend, she was trying to attempt, so I was dealing with that. And then also I got COVID, so I couldn't play most of the season. And I hated where I was at, and the only thing that was keeping me like focused was my business. So that happened. That literally happened. So I was on the verge of going crazy, but at that time I had some type of foundation. I had a devotional. That's what I was reading to get through. So that happened. All this is happening in a span of 3 months, guys. This is 3 months, first semester. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm not happy here. There's a photo of me like with my team. You can see it in my eyes. My eyes tell it all. I was not happy. I was on the verge of like crashing out, on the verge. And then I started back smoking too. So after the season was over, I was smoking every single day. I started drinking. It was so bad, guys. Like, I was drinking every day. I was getting drunk. I remember I got drunk twice in one weekend. throwing up my guts. I was just like, anything to like get my mind off everything, I was doing that. So I was like, I gotta come back home, Mom. I gotta come back home. So I come back home. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. So that's when God showed me, okay, Kia, do hair. You're really good at it. Like, just make it a career. So I was like, okay, September of 2021, I'm gonna enroll myself in cosmetology school. So during that time, I'm back home and I'm just taking care of my boyfriend, making sure he's okay. My boyfriend at the time, making sure he's good. I was going over to his house, making sure he's good and stuff like that with his family, whatever. So doing that, and then I'm also enrolled in online college. So I'm doing that. So I'm just really doing hair, online school with my boyfriend. Now, my boyfriend, he has to go back to Atlanta for school or whatever. So we're back long distance. So during that time, I had like 6 months of being able to fly out there. So I was just flying out there. You know, the relationship was good because, you know, I'm able to see him. The relationship was going good until I decided to check his phone. Decided to check his phone and everything like that. And then, yeah, everything went downhill. Everything went downhill. Trust issues, insecurity started popping back up, everything like that. Yeah, it just went downhill. Trust issues started coming, me bringing up like old things that happened in the relationship. It was just us going tit for tat. It just wasn't going good. So we get over that small hump, but I let him know that I'm about to start cosmetology school, so I'm not going to be able to see you and go to Atlanta, so you're going to have to come out here. Mind you, we should have just broke up because we're in school, like, but this is how a soul tie works. You think you can do anything you can to stay together when it's just not meant to be. So this is when it just gets wicked. It gets wicked. So so during that time of me being in cosmetology school, he was able to visit. I think he visited like about 3 times, and I think that third time he was able to visit, you know, we had sex or whatever. And then I was on birth control. I had the birth control that was in my arm. And basically I thought I had a miscarriage, but I found out when I went to the doctor it was an ectopic pregnancy. So I ended up having an ectopic pregnancy. Went to the doctor and she was like, no, you had an ectopic pregnancy. So found that out. I held that in for a long time. So I told him, and I was like, don't tell anybody, like, don't tell anybody, because I was just embarrassed. Like, I was really embarrassed and ashamed because I'm working very hard for the life I want to live and the things I want to do. And I was pregnant. Like, what? I just felt disgusted with myself. Like I said, this was the enemy working, and it just really, I fell back into a really deep depression. And I didn't want to tell my mom because Lord, I'm gonna tear up again. I don't want to tell my mom because my mom, she was pregnant at 19, and I had to see the things she went through, and she just made sure, like, she was very hard on me, and it affected me. But now that I'm older, you know, we talked it out and I understand why. Don't get pregnant, make sure. So I was just ashamed because I'm like, oh my God, I've been working so hard for this. I was almost pregnant and then this happened. It was just a lot of emotions, and then it's like, dang, well, I wanted the baby, well, I don't want the baby. Like, it was just a lot, like a lot. And this just boils back down to why we should not be having sex with people we're not married with, or God has called us to marry. Let's say that God has, because sometimes we marry people and God did not call us to marry that person. So it's like that going on. So I'm dealing with that. I just need somebody to cling to. At that time, I had made him my idol. So it's like anything that he did would affect me so bad. Like, it would affect me. I put him before God. I put him, like, it was bad. We honestly probably made each other idols. It was just bad. So it affected me, like, really bad. Like, my mental health was depleting. But like I said, I was a functioning depression. So yeah, functional depression. Yeah, I'm saying that right. So I would like, I would just, nobody knew what was going on because I would go to cosmetology school, be on top of it, be at work on top of it, be at school on top of it. I was just on top of it. So that was happening. And yeah, that's what happened. It was just bad when I break, but like we're still texting each other and like we're just arguing really bad. And at one point I just got so triggered. I was like, I think this was like maybe around December, January. I was like, I'm tired. Like, I'm holding all this in. I haven't told anybody. Nobody knows that this happened. Nobody knows that I went through this type of pregnancy. I'm just handling it alone because I think I can do everything on my own. Like, I'm big bad wolf and I'm not. Like, please get help. Please get help. Please get help. I'm gonna always say it. Please get help. You cannot handle everything on your own. That's why God has given us community. And I had a community, but I did not take use of it because I always thought I could do stuff on my own. So it just led to me having a big breakdown to where I was about to drive my car into the lake. I was like, I'm done. Like, this is the final straw. I'm ending it here. So I sent a message and I was like, I'm about to drive my car, and I was about to drive my car into the lake. What stopped me was the Holy Spirit. Again, he literally said, what are you doing? I have a plan for you. I literally have a plan for you. And the biggest thing that my mom told me is that you're going to have to learn how to have control of your mind, because that's where the enemy is going to get you. And that's where he's always attacked me, because he knows how much power I have. I've accomplished so much at this young age. So he knows what I'm capable of. And then now that I'm stepping into ministry, he knows what I'm capable of. So he's always been attacking my mind. And that's where he always got me, my mind, my mind, my mind. And that day he almost had me. I was literally about to drive my car into the lake. So that, I ended up driving back home, and my mom, like, she was distraught. She was devastated. She was like, Kia, you have community. You need to stop letting the enemy get to you. Like, we just had a really deep talk. And I think like that moment right there, realizing like how many people actually, Lord, why am I so emotional? Needed me. Because I just never thought I was needed. How many people actually needed me in that moment? Jesus, how many people needed me at that moment? It just made me realize, like, okay, I do have a purpose here. This is not the first time God has spoke this to me. This is the second time. So, I need to get serious with God. So, I started my journey of trying to find who Jesus was. I tried to get into the Muslim faith, but I was like, girl, you know nothing about that. You know who Jesus is, stick on that. So did that. I tried to get into like astrology, all that type of stuff. Couldn't get into it. It just got a little weird. It got real spooky, put like that. I started having like spiritual experiences. I was like, hey, this is a demon sitting right here. Let me leave it alone. So that type of stuff happened. Tried to get into the crystals. I was like, I can't see myself praying to no rock. I can't see myself doing that. So that was automatic news. So I just finally went back to the blueprint, which was this beautiful thing called the Bible. This is the way, the truth, and the life. Y'all, this is my Bible from like when I was like 12, but it's really good. It's really good the way it breaks it down. Like, this is a really good Bible. I like it. But yeah, so I started my journey there, and within that journey, I went to my braider in like February or March of 2022, and she was like, asked me, she was like, are you still with that guy? And we were kind of like not together, we together but not together. You know how it is, the toxic stuff. I was like, yeah, why? She was like, oh, is it that same guy? And I was like, yeah, why? I was just he was just out here and I was going to Atlanta to see him. She was like, why are you going to Atlanta to see him? And why y'all sitting together? Y'all aren't married. And I was like, but we're planning to get all married. And and she was like, but y'all aren't married, so y'all shouldn't be sleeping together. So that seed was planted. And I started getting convicted. And at that time, I would masturbate too. And I was getting convicted because of that. Because we're not supposed to be doing that to ourselves. We're supposed to be waiting in all forms. And then also that opens up to incubus and succubus, which I'll be talking about on my channel as well. And I was getting really convicted. Like, y'all, it was bad. Like, when I would masturbate, I would like cry. And I'm like, why am I crying? Like, what is going on? Like, it was bad. So I was getting convicted. So I started doing research. I'm like, I was like doing research, like, can you have sex with your boyfriend? Like, I was doing that type of. So I just started doing research and everything led back to, okay, so I just started doing research and everything kept leading back to, you know what it kept leading back to, guys? You're not supposed to be having sex if you're not married. Like, that's what it kept leading back to. Like, you know, when you just so far in your delusion, and God, it says it's in the Bible, he will turn you over to your delusions. Like, you're so far in your delusion that you're like, no, what I'm doing is just so right. That's how far deep into sexual sin I was. I was like, there's just no way. Like, here's the thing that I learned when you come to Christ. Your feelings don't matter. Your feelings are lies. It says the heart is deceitful and our heart is in line with our feelings. It's a nerve, okay? When you come to Jesus, you have to put your feelings aside and abide by this, okay? Abide by this. Because your feelings are lies, baby. This is the truth and the way and the light. Okay, let me get back to what I was saying, because I can get started, all right? So, everything led back to you need to wait, okay? So I was like really trying to figure out, like, bro, there's just, it has to say like somebody you're about to get married to. Like, no, it didn't say that. It says the person that you are married to is the person you have to have sex with. So you know what I said? I said, God, you're gonna have to show me why. So I was planning to get he gave me an answer. Shoot, the first answer was a type of pregnancy, but I was hard-headed. I was stiff-necked like the Israelites. So, boom. I was planning to get this out on my birthday, November 8th of 2022. I was turning 21. So, planning to get this out, right? I go to the doctor. They said, this is stuck in your arm. What do you mean it's, no. August, I was planning to get it out. She said, it's stuck in your arm. You're going to have to get surgery. What? Surgery? You can't find it in my arm? This stuff is poison anyways. This stuff is poison. I was like, what do you mean you can't find it in my arm? So, I scheduled the surgery for November 8th. We scheduled the surgery. He's like, yeah, I can't find this. Let's do an x-ray. We do an x-ray. Why? So I'm in sports. As you can see, I'm pretty in shape, right? So muscle grew over this birth control to where it was stuck in my arm. And the reason why I wanted to get this out was because of that whole ectopic pregnancy thing. I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm never getting on birth control again. And anytime I was on birth control, weird stuff would happen to my body. And that was probably another God thing too. Like, stop having sex and you don't have to get on birth control. That simple. So, yeah. So now surgery is scheduled to like December, January. I have surgery to get this removed, bro. Worst, like, that whole situation was just horrible. And he was like, are you gonna get it again? No, I'm not. My OBGYN at the time, do you want to get on birth control? No, I'm not having sex. No, I'm good. I'm good. God showed me, ask and you shall receive. He showed me. He said, oh, you want to get shown? I'm gonna show you. He showed me. Okay, humble me. So when that situation happened, I think prior to me getting it out, I think I had called my boyfriend at the time, and I was like, hey, we're gonna have to stop having sex. I'm very convicted. And you know how that turned out. We were like beefing back and forth about that whole situation for a couple of months until I finally was like, well, either we're not going to be together or we're going to abide by this book. Like, that's how obedient I was to God. Like, I was just, well, okay, at that time, the beginning, I was like, I'm good. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of going through this. The only answer that can fix this is Jesus. I've tried everything. I've tried the drugs. I've tried the weed. I've tried the partying. I've tried the men. I've tried it all. I've been outside in the clubs trying to get attention. I've done all that. I tried to find it in you. It's not working. This is the only way. So I was like, we're gonna abide by this, or we just don't gotta be together. And I understand, like, I don't know, it just be different for men. I don't know, for women, I feel like we can just stop. Certain women, not every woman. I don't know, for me, it was just easy to like to not have sex because I was so humble. I went through too much of things along the lines of sex, babies, birth control, where I was like, I'm good. I don't stare at the penis. I'm good. I'm good. So that literally happened. Like I said, nobody really knows what's going on with me because, like I said, only close friends, but like nobody knows. Everybody thinks everything's dandelion, flies and lions with our relationship because I don't pit people in my business, but the Lord is like, start putting people in your business so they can see how you got set free. So now y'all in my business. Yeah, y'all in my business. But it's fine. It's part of the testimony. It's part of the ministry that God has me going into. So that literally happened, right? So he was like, okay, fine. I'll try it out. What does try it out mean, bro? What do you mean you gonna try it out? It's either you with it or you not with it. Like, what does that mean? So I still want him in my life. Okay, so I'm like, okay, fine, we can try it out. That did not work, bro. He was like he was had an attitude. Like, he was bring things like bring things up like, well, I could do this because you're not having sex with me. He was so mean. Like, what the heck? What? He would say stuff like that, and I'm like, who are you talking to, bro? Like, it does not work like that. So it got to a point where this is like literally, I started going to church with my mom. So this is like around the summertime, I want to say. I know my story is everywhere. Just bear with me. I really suck at telling stories. So we're on the phone and he's like, I can't do this no more. It's like, I can't hold out no more or whatever. And me, I'm like, okay, then we don't need to be together. He was like, but I still want to be with you. I was like, but this is what you need to do in order to be with me. And we just get in this argument, and I was like, fine, we'll have sex, it's whatever. And I'm like crying on the phone. And then I hang up. And then this is when I realized I had made this man an idol. God spoke to me again, very clear, loud voice, and said, you're gonna put this man before me after what I told you what you should be doing? Because the first step of me like fully, walking with Christ was he wanted me to give up sex. It's a process. Sometimes it's not a process for everybody. It was a process for me. That was the first thing. It was sex. So he said that. He was like, you're really about to put this man before me? That's what he said. He said, if you put this man before me, watch what happens. That's literally what he said. So I literally called him back, I think an hour later. I started crying. I was like, oh my God, like, all right, I'm not even finna play with God. Because why? After God tells you to do something and you disobeyed it, you just made whatever God told you to move away from an idol. God told me loud and clear, stop having sex. And he showed me loud and clear why I shouldn't be having sex. And I was gonna go back on what God told me to do. I can't play with God like that. And in the anointing that I have, I can't be playing with God like that. Like, no. So I was like, oh wow. So I called him out like crying. I was like, we can't be together. The fact that you can't respect where I'm coming from, we can't be together. And he was like, okay, I knew you're gonna call me, da da da, I understand that, da da da. All right, boom, squash it. I was like, I wish the best for you. Okay, cried a little bit. Then after that, I was at peace. I was like, okay, I feel so much better. I feel like a weight was lifted off. Like, I feel so good. 2 days later, he calls me. He was like, hey, but can we still do Bible study? Me at that time, a piece of me still wants him, not knowing God is telling me to be fully obedient and leave that man alone completely leave him alone. No texting, no friends, no Bible study. That's what he meant. Leave him alone. But God was a little bit gracious with me, because I guess he was just a little bit gracious. God had some grace with me. He really did. He was very gracious, very, very gracious. So I was like, fine, we can do Bible study. We're doing Bible study, but we're not dating. But he's getting mad because certain people are commenting on my pics. Well, I'm like, if you're gonna get mad, then you need to stop texting this person. So it's just a toxic cycle again and again and again, to the point where I was like, I had to like completely cut him off and block him immediately. And it was probably harsh, but sometimes you gotta do the harsh things. When you walk in with God, some things you just gotta harshly do. So this happened in January, leading up into the new year. And I feel like God was telling me to do this because, one, I opened up my business. I opened up my mini salon suite, and then I was moving into my own place in March. So God just wanted me fresh start. So I moved into my place with March. I'm walking with God. I'm speaking in tongues, y'all. Yes, I'm speaking in tongues. I'm like, oh my God. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. praying to God. I'm fasting. I'm like, it's like, who is this? Who is this? I'm learning so much. I'm just spending time with God, being in the presence of God. Don't care what's around me. Like, I'm just spending time with God, y'all. Like, in his presence, the business is going good, until he texts me in like May or March, April, May, or around one of those times. He texted me. He was like, hey, I'm in town. Like, let's catch up. Like, I want to talk. So we talk. We discuss everything that happened, the whole sex situation. He apologized. I apologized for probably how I was acting. It's just apologies being given to each other or whatever. So that happens, and we're like, okay, let's do this the right way. Like, let's do it with God. Mind you, the day before that talk, so I'm still learning, because I'm a dreamer. I'm still learning how to interpret my dreams. So the day before I had that talk, I had a dream of him knocking on my apartment door, and when I opened the door, a spirit came out of him trying to attack me. So the Lord was showing me that whatever spirit was in him was trying to attack me or whatever. So basically, I was opening a door that is not supposed to be open, because open doors is what leads to demonic oppression, and that open door was going to lead to demonic oppression, right? But I didn't understand that at that time. I didn't go to God, and I didn't go to my mentor at that time like I was supposed to, because I still wanted a little piece of him, right? So that happens. First couple months is going good, and then all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. Why? Because I opened that door that was supposed to be closed. I gave Satan an open door to attack me. I was being attacked left and right. Mental health, questioning myself. I'm finding out old things that he'd have done in the relationship. Just all types of stuff. But me, I'm such a fighter, and I had loyalty idolatry. I'ma stick beside you. Bye. What? I was calling myself a ride or die. No, it's not a flex to be a ride or die. It's not. I had to repent from even saying that. Because no, I'm not no ride or die. What? It's ride or die. When God tells me to leave, leave. Like, what? No, we're not doing that. So, I was sticking beside him. I'm like, no, we're going to see this through. We're going to figure this out. But God kept showing me, like, literally, I would be like, God, if he goes to the strip club, I'm breaking up with him. He going to the strip club the next day. And I'm not breaking up with him. God, if I find out he was texting this girl at this time, I'm breaking up with him. Next day, find out he texted this girl And I'm still staying like a delusional person. Mind you, I'm doing really well in my walk with God, and this was the way the enemy was trying to use him to distract me. Literally. So, literally, I went back to drinking again. And then that night I had ended up getting super drunk. I ended up sleeping with him again. So I broke my abstinence. So I'm just back to square one. So after all that happened, the Lord blessed me with a trip to Dubai in October before 2023. Yeah, before 2023. He blessed me with a trip to Dubai. So during that time in Dubai, me and him, like, we argued really bad before I went to Dubai, and that was the enemy to stop me from going to the trip. Because I just noticed, like, every time I'm around him, I was getting irritated. Like, I had something to say. I was acting out of character. I was cussing up a storm. I was just not acting like the woman that God was calling me to be, like, at all. So that was going on. My mental health is depleting, but I'm not at the point where I'm not there anymore. Like, I'm not at the point where I'm finna off myself or cut myself, but my anxiety did come back. Like, it was bad. I was having bad panic attacks. So, like, my chest was closing in on me. And I'm like, bro, I haven't had this in a long time, and I didn't start having these panic attacks until I got back. I'm in Dubai. WhatsApp's not really working, so I think that was a God thing, because I didn't need to be in contact with him. And during that time of me in Dubai, God showed me the life that he had for me. He showed me that, like, my gifts will, because I love traveling. I don't like sitting in one spot. Like, I like to be everywhere. I love traveling. I love trying new places. And he showed me, like, my gifts will make room for me for the things that he has for me. And I was telling God, like, Lord, I just want peace. And he was like, if you follow me in everything that I will say, you will have peace. That's literally what he said. He literally said, you will have peace, just follow me. So during that time, I just realized, like, I need to let him go. Like, he needs to be cut off completely. Done. Nada. Don't ever talk to him again. Don't look back. So I get back from Dubai. It's okay. We're bickering here and there. And it just got to a point where I just cut him off. I was like, we can't be together. Like, it's still toxic. Nothing has changed. We're both toxic. We're arguing all the time. We can't see eye to eye on this because I'm trying to live a righteous life. And he's still, like, you know, he's learning, basically. Me, I'm 100% in. He's still trying to figure out his way. And it's just not going to work. Lukewarm. Like, you have to be equally yoked. And at that time, we're just not equally yoked. Like, I would say, like, business-wise, we were equally yoked. But spiritually, we weren't, if that makes sense. So, like, when it came to business, like, me and him, like, we was there, but just spiritually, it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working. So I just had to let that go. I was really sad about it because I really thought this was the person I was gonna marry. But, you know, God has other plans, and I wish the best for him. I pray for him. I really hope that he's doing great in life, like, for real. We was just both young and dumb. Didn't know better. So that happened. I finally let him go, right? Finally let him go. And now God has showed me the plans that he has for me. So now we are here. We are here, guys. Now we are here. I'm walking into what God has for me. So yeah, we're here. I have my Bible study ministry now. I don't know what I'm gonna name it. God has not given me a name yet. I don't know what to call it. He hasn't given me a name yet. But yeah, welcome to my ministry where I will be teaching the word of God. And I will be teach you all things Jesus. Okay? And I'm here to show you that he will use anybody, and that your story does not define who you are, and that I have overcame all of this. And this is just, like, I know this video was long, but this is just touching the surface of my testimony. I feel like I'm gonna have to make different videos of me teaching and putting certain things that happen within my life within those teachings, so you can guys get a fuller, deeper glimpse of it. But yeah, I'm delivered. I am a rape victim. I am a sexual assault victim. I had suicide ideations. I was addicted to weed. I was addicted to addicted to harming myself, but God has freed me from that. And I'm here to show you how this Bible, applying the teachings of these Bibles, will have you set free, because he did it for me. So yeah, welcome, like I said, to my YouTube channel. Welcome to the ministry. I also teach Bible studies once a month as well, and this is available on Zoom. So if you would like to join that, just message me on my Instagram, yeah, at kia.spates, so you can get signed up. I'm still trying to figure out how the Lord wants me to like move with that. But yeah, I will be teaching and posting videos weekly about the Lord. I'm just here to say that your past, again, does not define you. God has given you the authority to take control over things that the enemy has tried to use to destroy you. And I'm a living example of that. When God calls you, and when God wants to do something to you and fix you, not like that, but like wants to fix you, just let him. Easy? No, but nothing's easy when you're unlearning old habits and old things and old ideologies. And I'm here to break y'all free from that, because I have been broken free from old myths, old things, generational things. And God has showed me that the reason why we act like this is because of things in the bloodline and generational things, and that you will be set free from it. So I hope my testimony inspires you, helps you. But welcome to the channel. Be ready to learn, be ready to be convicted, and be ready to be set free and changed. And like I said, if you're not ready to abide by this Bible, don't even play with Jesus like that, okay? Okay, don't play with him like that. But subscribe, like, comment, and I hope this blessed you. Me talking about it has even blessed me, because clearly I had to release some things I didn't know need to be released. So bye.